My future begins, and with my birth, the universe will know true corruption. Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Cosy Reads. I hope you've all been keeping well. Welcome to part 6 of A Universe Moulded. As the two gods embraced, they knew not of the future that they would bring about. All they knew was that they would finally get what was owed to them. As both Chasity and Kedric lay together, they embraced each other tight. While relationships between gods was not illegal, it was still unheard of, and so they knew that if anyone saw them together, they would have to explain themselves and risk not being able to see each other again. With the love they both felt for each other, this was not an option that they could allow. They loved each other too much to say goodbye, and so when they were alone together like this, they held each other tight, never wanting the moment to end. I still cannot believe you are pregnant, and yet here we are being taught that gods do not get pregnant. As much like first ones, they are their own self-contained entities, and so they cannot have children. But yet here we are shown that this is also a falsity, one created by our firstborn overlords to keep us in check. This makes me more than ready to bring about our plan to fruition, and I cannot wait for the day when that is possible. Kedric said to Chasity before he held his head to her belly and whispered to his future child, telling the child of all the amazing things that it will do, and of how powerful it will be. Chasity merely smiled and gently held Kedric's head. While it is cause for celebration, I'm afraid, my love, that there's only so many ways I can hide my belly before people start to ask questions, and the baby birth comes ever closer. Please, can you tell me when we'll be ready to relocate? Chasity said while rubbing her belly. The time nears, my love. I've already made the necessary preparations and found a small area of the universe that will be away from a lot of people. From here, you may have your birth away from prying eyes. We leave in a few days' time, my love. From there, it will be safe for you to have our child, Kedric explained. Thank you, my love. Do you still remember what I told you? You deserve so much better. We all do. And once this child comes to fruition, we'll have everything we could ever dream of. This universe was meant for us, not the first ones. We were made from the mortals' praise of us, and so we should be the ones to rule over them and look over them. You will lead us to greatness, and with me and our child by our side, there is nothing we cannot do, Chasity said while rubbing her belly. She was so glad her plan was coming to bear. While it may not have been glamorous to seduce and sleep with Kedric so that he could bear her a powerful child, she knew that this was the way that she could truly get back at her lord, the first one. History may call her lustful or lascivious, but she did not care. Her time of reckoning will come, and the universe will know her might. While it would be wonderful to rule herself, she knew from watching the first ones and from watching the mortals that the universe was seemingly anchored on a male-dominated sphere. She would change that, however, and bring about a future where she could rule, but for now, she would bide her time, wait for the perfect moment to take what is hers and claim the universe for herself. You are right, my love. This will be all ours, and I will rule, bringing the gods to the forefront and finally putting us in our rightful place, Kedric responded before kissing her forehead and heading out the room. While all this was going on, the first ones were seemingly none the wiser. The couple could tell there was something in the air, but they couldn't quite put their finger on it. They were too proud and too boastful to believe that the issue could be coming from within their own court, especially the male half of the couple, as it was his court, and so he could not entertain the idea that he had insubordination within his ranks. That was a blasphemous idea. He was the first one, imbued with insane levels of power. How could he be bested by the people of his court? No, they would not even dare to try and challenge him. The issue must be coming from out there. Was Malakoth stirring? Was his cult returning? While the old ones are remnants of Malakoth's cult, there have never been too many of them to really warrant worry. But Kedric did speak of the multiple old ones he and Chasity had ran into. Could this be the feeling of unease? He could not tell, but he needed to look into this, and so he went to go and visit his wife in her court and sit down with her to determine what might be happening. The news carried fast to Kedric and Chasity. The master has left the court. Now was the time. They needed to make their move quickly. Kedric helped gather up their things and supported Chasity to the transport that they will be using. Usually, they could walk from one end of the universe to the other, but with Chasity in the state that she was in, Kedric determined her walking was not a good idea. Once the transport, they made their way to the hidden part of the universe, the section that not even the first ones knew too much of. From here, Chasity could have their child, while Kedric headed back to the castle to vouch for her and to see to his own duties. The child would be raised in secret, and so the hard part was only just beginning. Raising a child away from the prying eyes of the first ones, while also keeping up appearances themselves. In taking the path they chose, Kedric and Chasity became to embody the negative traits. While Malakoth had brought about original sin, Kedric and Chasity were set to become embodiments of those sins, with Chasity filling the role of lust, and Kedric filling the role of pride. And the child born from lust and pride would be a wicked child, one that would bring about absolute ruin to all that it comes into contact with. And that brings chapter 6 to an end. I hope that you've all been enjoying this series, and I hope that you've all enjoyed this chapter. With sin rearing its head again, it seems that the universe is in for a rude awakening, and a threat worse than Malakoth. But let me know what you thought of the chapter, and what you've been thinking of the series so far. I do enjoy writing this story, as the betrayal and underhandedness make for some very interesting concepts. So if you are liking the series, then feel free to tune in next time for part 7 of Universe Moulded. But until then, I hope you've all sufficiently warmed up, and that this story has brought you some level of comfort. I wish you all safe travels on the journey of life, and feel free to come back again when you need a new story to warm your day.